Top 50 Games of All Time is sponsored by Game Toppers. Game Toppers LLC has more than a few solutions that transform almost any normal table into a sturdy and portable gaming table without breaking the bank. Their Game Toppers 4.0 Kickstarter is launching on October 24th, so be sure to check out all the new products they have coming and stop by GameToppersLLC.com for everything they currently have to offer you, from Game Toppers to playmats and more. Welcome to the Top 50 Games of All Time, Jessie's Top 50 Games of All Times, and this is, as we say, the creme de la creme, the top of the top 50, numbers 10 through 1. What do you think?
Eek.
Should we be excited?
I'm excited.
I don't know.
I think you're not going to be excited, but I'm excited.
There might be some... I'm predicting there's going to be some stinkers in this one.
Nah, they're all amazing.
They're all amazing. Okay, well, maybe they are, maybe they aren't. We'll have to see. Number 10 coming up.
It's also a game you don't really enjoy, but I have played this with my parents so many times. And even when Dante was little, he would play with, we call them Grandpa and Momo. Those are my parents, their names. Those are their names now. Yeah. We gave up their real names when they became grandparents.
Sure.
And I've played this hours of my life with them. And it's Quirkle. It's my number 10 because it's so tied to the memories of playing with my parents. I told you, you're not going to love my list. It's tied to memories. This is the only game my parents will play with me. They don't understand that I play all these different fun, beautiful, colorful, amazing games.
But they understand playing Quirkle?
Yes, they love Quirkle. And we used to bring out that bag and shake it. And Dante would come like running in, even as a little 3-year-old. He'd go, I want to play Quirkle. And he would sit and Momo would help him and they would build their little lines. And it is completely based on memory. Would I say, gee, I think we should play Quirkle tonight, honey, to Sam? No, I would not.
Narcolepsy sets in.
But it is so tied to the memory of my parents.
I get it. You can like the games that you want to like.
Shut up. Okay, look.
Ooh. I would usually provide color commentary at this point.
You may. Go ahead.
The silence is deafening.
Look, I told you guys at the beginning, this list is based on memories.
Exactly. And that's why it is a valid choice.
And I actually have to say, when people bring out Quirkle at our game night, I'm like, ooh, I'll sit down to Quirkle.
You have.
I have, many times.
And that's fine. I don't begrudge people for liking games.
It's like dominoes. My mom adds up the points, and my dad goes, that's not right. That's not right. You didn't get 13. It
probably turns out to be right.
It does turn out to be right. But he gets all, that's not right. You didn't get 6 points on that. And then she shows him, yes, I did. But it's so tied to that memory. And they taught it to Dante when he was like 3. And he played with Grandpa and Momo, Quirkle, all the time.
All right. Cool.
Okay, my number 9 is a party game. And I know, Sam doesn't love a lot of party games.
We're getting a lot of party games now. Telestrations and Quirkle and
just one.
9, okay. I wish there was just one party game, but...
This is a great party game. It's so tied to the memories. We've played this with a lot of people. We played it with the kids. Yeah. We played it when we had almost all 6 of the kids together. We played it then. We played it with... We're in this little Airbnb, and David and Catherine are visiting from a long ways away.
Yep.
And We played and we laughed.
Yeah.
And I just really associate this game with smiling. Like, it makes me happy.
Yep.
So, Sam doesn't love it, but it's not...
Well, it's not that...
It's a party game.
I'm not a party game person. I don't really enjoy party games that much. There are a very select few party games that I will choose if I'm the host.
Right.
I'll play almost anything.
Yes.
I'm not that kind of person where I'm like, oh, I'd rather not play that. Thank you very much. I don't do that. But if I'm going to pick the party game, there's a very few number of party games that I choose. And frankly, Just One is one of them. So it's not bad. It's just that I'm not a party game person. So I don't think there's any way possible that this would ever be on any top 10 list of mine unless it was a top 10 party games.
And even then, it probably wouldn't.
No, it wouldn't. It would be on that list. But any other, no.
Yeah,
not.
well, what it reminds me of is there was an old game in the 80s called Categories. Mm-hmm. And I used to play that in college. So it's kind of the same concept. You're writing something with a letter and trying to not get your friends to write the same thing. Kind of.
Sure.
But I played it with my exchange student, well, not my exchange student, but a student from a different country who was one of my nearest and dearest friends, Katabi. And Katabi, when we played this game, he just loved saying, scratch it, like you're scratching it off. So we'd play Categories. Mm-hmm. And this is what it reminds me of Just One. Every time somebody comes out and they're like, oh no, I have that same thing, I literally hear Katabi in my head going, scratch it. And you'd have to scratch it off your list. And so Just One on it by itself is a fun party game. Yeah. But it is so tied to that memory of me in college teaching this game of Categories to many, many international students.
Interesting.
And him going, scratch it! And I can't even. So every time we play Just One, I'm sitting across the table and somebody writes fireman, and I wrote fireman, I hear it in my head, scratch it!
I think they don't like being called firemen. I think they prefer to be called firefighters.
Okay. This is getting better. My number 8.
I'm not going to believe it until I hear it.
My number 8. The memory tied with this game is this is one of the first games I asked for, and Sam bought me for Mother's Day, actually. And it's Cascadia.
Finally a good game.
The art in this is so beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
It's all really Pacific Northwest. I mean, come on.
No. But is it Beth Sobel? I think it was Beth Sobel. I'll correct it up here.
Yeah, fix that.
It's good artwork.
The art is so cool. Yeah. And the fact that it's all animals that we can find in the Pacific Northwest. I was really drawn to that. Mm-hmm. But this is the memory of it is I said I really wanted this game. We had played it once. Yep. And Sam went out and bought it for me for Mother's Day. And I was floored. So it was super, super sentimental to me. Like, I don't care what happens in that studio and what goes on, but I'm not getting rid of this because you bought it for me for Mother's Day.
That's true.
It was so tied to that memory.
That's cool.
So, and it's a great game, really fun game.
Super great game. It's a game that, especially up here in the Pacific Northwest, because
it is so
tied to that nature theme.
We all have, these are all the animals we have up here. There isn't like a Texas Blue Jay or something. I don't know. These are Northwest animals, and I love it. Cascadia.
Very good.
Number 8.
Cool.
See? Getting better.
Yeah.
My number 7 is a 2-person game.
Oh, 2 players.
And all my 2-player games, I have only played with Sam. I don't think I've played any other 2 players with anyone else. But it's Onitama.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah,
this is a great game. And I really love the fact that he can use his see. And the first time Sam taught it to me, and I was like, I'm making the confused face again. I was like, I don't get it. And I was like, oh, I'm just moving my piece, but you have to give me a card.
Yeah.
Oh.
You have 5 cards. That you each get 2, and then there's another one. And so whenever you use one of the cards that move one of your pieces, you have to take that card and put it over here and grab the one that's over there, the free one. And then when your opponent goes, they have to do the same thing. So there's only 5 moves in each game. Now there's more than 5 moves in the game. They have a number of different cards, and they've come up with a lot of expansions for it. Well, a few expansions. So but in each game, there's only 5 moves. And so you will literally give the moves to your opponent that allow them to beat you.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. And so that's one of the cool things about it. It has a very chess-like feel to it.
Yes.
But it's not like chess. It just has that same vibe of me using the same moves against you that you have to use against me. And you can kind of protect a move by using the other one
pieces.
And just keep that one for when you can really use it to its greatest potential. But there's a lot of coolness to that game.
Oh,
Max.
gosh,
Weirdo.
Max.
So mean sometimes.
So, Onitama is a 2-player game. Sam taught it to me. I taught it to Dante, who went, "Oh, I really like this. This is fun. Let's play again. Let's play again." My number 6. I know you like this game.
You're like 2 and 2 right now, as far as.
But I'm on like. Oh, I am on 4.
Yeah, you're 2 and 2 right now for your top 10.
Okay, you like this game.
2 wins and 2 losses. So far.
This is so tied to us on the Amtrak playing this 2-person game.
Odin's Ravens.
On our honeymoon, on these little tables at the Amtrak.
Yeah. One of the things about Odin's Ravens is that you have to set up a long.
You have this whole.
When you have a 2x2 table that you're working with,
I don't even think it was 2x2.
it was like
was it?
snaking back and forth. And
You think
back
it's
and forth.
2x2?
I know you don't like
it was.
that, Maxine.
It was tiny.
Go ahead, go.
Oh, look at that! It's a tiny little table on the train, and the memory of Sam and I in our little room.
It can't be a one by one.
It was like 18 by 12, maybe.
Yeah,
I mean, it was teeny.
It was a teeny little table, and I had those cards just like going back and forth.
And then we would hit a corner.
Yeah.
On the train.
Everything would shift.
And then everything would kind of slide. And I would laugh, and Sam would make that face.
Well, it was a good time, though, yeah.
It was a good time.
I used to have that game way back when. Used to be part of the Cosmos 2-player line.
Okay.
Osprey Games grabbed it after it went out of print and put it back into print. And so that's the copy that we have now.
I love it. It's super fun.
That's the
it's
version we
super
have now.
artistic. The art is so beautiful.
Yeah. The new Osprey game, the art in the new Osprey Games version is very
pretty.
good. Very good.
But this game is so tied to us on that, on our honeymoon.
I agree. That's a good one.
So,
That's a good one. Another
see?
2-player game.
Number 5 you like a lot,
I didn't look at it.
but we don't own it yet.
Don't own it yet.
If we don't own it yet, I don't even know where it's at in the world yet, but it is Stone Spine
Architects. Okay, yeah, we did play this a lot.
We did.
Yeah, this is, I didn't do a preview, we just did a playthrough of this. We did a playthrough of this, and didn't do a review or anything like that. Maybe I did a preview. No, I did do a review.
I think you did either a preview or a review.
I can't remember what I did. They gave me a prototype copy.
Right. So this is one we don't own yet.
Yeah.
But we will, because I really like this
At
game.
Origins. No, we backed it. It's coming.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
It's coming. Yeah, we did it. They gave me a prototype review copy at Origins, and I did a review of it,
Yes.
and we did a live playthrough of it, and we backed the game.
Super fun.
Yeah.
Super fun.
Super fun game.
And I just remember thinking, like, playing this game and going, oh, I like this. Like, I like this.
Yeah.
This is really fun.
One of the cool connections for me for the game is that you're playing Minotaurs that are building dungeons.
Yes.
And I used to play a Minotaur all the time in Dungeons and Dragons
You
back when I
played
was
a
in high
Minotaur?
school. Yeah, I played Minotaurs. Barbarian
funny.
Minotaur.
That's
that just... Yeah, I was the troublemaker in the group back then, that's for sure. You look at the cover and it's like, wow, anthropomorphic Bulls?
Yeah.
What? No. They're minotaurs. You're playing minotaurs that are building dungeons for people.
Yes.
And it's a really cool theme, but it's a really fun game.
Super fun.
Of putting those different tile cards together and building your dungeon, making sure this matches up with this and lines up with this. And you have to do it row at a time from top to bottom.
Yeah.
And sometimes you really have to
It does not work the way you're thinking.
It doesn't work out, but it's really fun. And it's one of those games that no matter from solo player to full capacity, I think the experience that you get from the game doesn't really change.
No, and it was so much fun.
Yep.
I think all of us liked it. I think even JJ, we all went. Yeah. This was super fun.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if he went and backed it, but I'm pretty sure he went and backed it as well.
Right. It was super fun. And it was a game that was easy enough that we could teach to other people and play with different sets of people.
No,
so
it's good.
That's tied to the memory of us sitting here.
Now that is top 10 material, lady. Well done.
This is a party. No, this isn't a party game. This is a game I really like to bring to game night. Mm-hmm. And it's super easy to teach. And every time I play it, I feel like the people go, oh, this isn't what I was expecting. Oh, this is kind of fun. Mm-hmm. And it's silver and gold.
Very good.
As my number 4.
Yep.
Well, it just makes me happy to see them get it and play. And, there's a, well, I'll get back to that in a minute. I like it. I just really find it super easy and super fun. And every time I bring it to board game night, I teach it to somebody new, and every time they're like, oh, this is really fun.
Yeah.
So that's tied to the memory of me teaching a game, which I'm not really the best at teaching games.
She's fine.
I don't know. It depends on the game. If it's Flamecraft, which I love, I get stuck at teaching. As long as she knows
the game really well, she teaches it well. But they're the bigger games that have more to remember in them. And I'm the same way. I forget details all the time.
I ask Sam to come and set up the game and do a teach on it, and then I'll sit at the table and play and help people with questions. But he does. But Silver and Gold, the memory is just super easy. I can name 20 people that have sat at the table with me and played this and just enjoyed it.
Yeah, it has a really cool flip and right mechanism where it's a flip and right game. It's not a roll and right. You're not rolling dice, but you're flipping cards. So it has that kind of bingo-esque feel to it where one person flips over a card and everybody has to do in that thing. You don't have to do that. You can choose to just darken in one. But it's a really simple mechanism that everybody's familiar with. And all of the little tiny mechanisms of the palm trees and the coins and all that kind of stuff, that's easy to teach.
Super easy to teach. It's super visual.
Yeah, it's a really cool game where they take a very simple mechanism and they just sprinkle a little bit of a few twists on it, and it makes it really fun.
But I mean, the memory is just so easy for me to teach that I've literally sat with 20 or 30 people and played this game. So it's not one specific moment of a memory. It's I taught it to so many people, and every time they had a great time.
Yep. The first time I played this game, it was at a gathering of friends, and I was literally I had just gotten down to the game room and from my hotel room, and somebody pulled it out and said, "Hey, let's play this one." And I was like, okay, fine. It's a little appetizer game because it comes in this little dinky
tiny little box, yeah.
And I'm like, okay, fine. We'll get we'll whet the appetite. We'll get it going. And then by the end of the game, I was like, I need to buy this.
Really?
This is a really fun game.
It is super fun.
Yeah. So
See?
that was a while ago.
Number 4. They are not.
Good game. Good game.
Thanks, honey.
You're welcome.
I'm a little worried about you.
I was expecting Cascadia to be your number 1. It isn't, and so that has me kind of flabbergasted. But whatever. We'll see. Go ahead. Keep going.
Okay, my number 3 is also a new game. So much fun and so easy, and everybody loves it. It has the same kind of mechanism. I have a whole bunch of these that have this like Tetris-y mechanism. Yeah. Tiny towns and
My City.
And my number 3 is
parts.
Junk Drawer.
Junk Drawer.
I love this game. It's so easy.
No, yeah. And again...
and there are levels that you can do that make it a lot harder, too.
Yep.
But it's sit down at the table and play it, and people start smiling.
Yeah, because they look at the theme.
Yes.
And they're like, oh, yeah, I've got that drawer in my kitchen.
And the conversation that comes up, this is why it's so tied to the memories, because the conversation that comes up almost every time is, oh, yeah, I actually have that in my junk drawer.
Yeah.
I have a pair of scissors.
Exactly.
I have a tape measure.
Yes.
I have an inhaler. Nobody in my family even uses an inhaler, and I have an inhaler. And I have, a pair of glasses. Yeah. And I have every single person at the table is like, yeah, I actually have that in my drawer.
Every single time.
Yes.
Every single time. That's one of the cool things about this game is the fact that it's so
I have a roll of tape
to everybody's real life.
It literally makes every single one of us breaks down those barriers and go, you have that pristine, clean house, and I don't, but I bet you have a junk drawer, and I bet it has a roll of tape.
Everybody has a junk
drawer. And
drawer.
it has some scissors, and it has some glasses, and a set of keys.
I've actually heard people say, no, I need to go organize my junk drawer.
Yes, I did afterwards.
They say that.
It's kind of like they go, oh, I should probably go through my junk drawer. It's a really fun game.
Yep.
My kids love it.
Yep.
And it just builds this conversation.
Yep. Yeah, it's super good, and I would put this on the level of party games. This is another kind of game that I would. This is almost. I'm doing a top 5 go-to games for new gamers at Calgary.
Yeah.
And this almost made my top 5 list.
It is really easy.
If it had been a top 10,
it would have been
probably would have been on it, but it just didn't make the cut for the top 5, but because it's just that, it's so relatable to everyone.
Relatable, so easy, and every single time I play it, people smile and laugh.
Yep.
And the other thing I really like about the game is you're moving along, and you kind of have a plan in your hand, but the game ends when one person can't place the next thing that's drawn.
Yep.
And since you're working in different quadrants, you might still have lots of room anywhere else.
You don't, but if you can't...
But if you can't place it where you're supposed to... And so what amazes me is you are literally playing along, and you're like, oh, all right, I got this. And then you're like waiting for the next card, and they go, oh, I can't play, I'm done.
I can't place, yep.
You're like, wait, what?
And usually what...
What do you mean you can't place?
So you flip over 4 cards, so you know what the four cards are going to be.
Right, so they're here.
But you only have 4 quadrants. So once you put one of those items in one quadrant, you can't put any of the other 3 in that quadrant.
Right.
You have to put them in other quadrants. So if you get to a part where, okay, I can only place in this quadrant and there's no way I'm fitting that in this quadrant, well, if one person gets to that spot, the game ends.
And every single time we play, the table goes, what?
Yeah.
What?
Why can't you be more efficient?
What do you mean you can't place that? I have like almost a whole empty section over here. Yeah. And then you have to score based right then.
Yep.
And you're like, but every time, and that's what makes me laugh, is every time it's like, what? What? My top 2. I've actually gone back and forth on these top 2 52,000 times.
That's probably an exaggeration.
I don't know. I've gone like this, and then I've gone like this, and then I've gone like this. So here,
double check and make
you
sure.
just pick one, and that'll be my number 2, and you pick the other one, and it'll be my number 1.
No, I'm not doing that. You have to do that. All right. Me. Now we're all going to be guessing. Did she actually change it, or did?
Look, I've even scratched out the numbers on them numerous times.
Oh boy, here we go.
Okay, my number 2.
Scandal in the Flipside.
I know. My number 2 is so tied to memory. Is Hogwarts Battle.
Harry Potter, Hogwarts
Battle. Hours.
Or, more succinctly put, Hogwarts a Battle.
I usually say Hogwarts a Battle, and he's corrected me over 2 years.
Yes.
So I've stopped saying Hogwarts a Battle.
Yeah.
And now just say Hogwarts Battle.
Yes.
This was one of the first intro into big card games, big board games that I did. And it was hours and hours of sitting on the floor with my family, with the kids. And
they played the game on the floor.
We did. We played the game on the floor. Sorry. We played the game on the floor. I don't know why. I don't know why we didn't sit at the table. That would have made sense. But we played the game on the floor. Every time we played it on the floor.
Wow.
And every time.
And
we played through all these levels, and it was so hard. And the kids were actually asked, there's spells you do, and we're big Harry Potter fans. So there's actually spell cards that you flip over, and they had to get out their Harry Potter wands and make the spells in the air before they were allowed to play the card. Now, the reason it's not my number one, this is so tied to memory. I mean, it is like so memory based. Mm-hmm. But the reason it is not my number one is because I had to think, not only is this a top 10 and top 50 games that I love, it's things that I want to play right now.
Sure.
And I love my family as it is right now. Mm-hmm. But Aiden and Sam probably wouldn't enjoy playing 4 hours of Hogwarts Battle.
Okay, I'm glad you said it that way. Because she is correct. I would not enjoy playing 4 hours.
Or more. I mean, I know Sam says, my eyes bleed when he talks about Twilight Imperium. And I'm like, are you kidding? You played for 11 hours? Like, I can't even process that. But I have played Hogwarts Battle for hours. Now, my kids were littler. Mm-hmm. I actually haven't played this.
How did you get them to sit still for 4 hours? That's what I don't
understand. I mean, we sat and played it. Like, it was all theme. It was all theme-based. And
I get you. Yeah, you're big Harry Potter fans.
We're big Harry Potter fans. We had our wands. You had to do the spells. You had to...
Oh, my goodness.
So...
That is not me.
So
I'm big on theme, don't get me wrong.
So this is why it's not my number one. Is because I don't actually want to sit and play it with my family right now. Because I don't think Aiden and Sam would enjoy it as much.
I would enjoy it, but I'm not going to sit for that long.
Well, and also, okay, the reason it probably...
It's not a 4-hour game. Why would we sit and play...
I think that's part of the thing.
Multiple
is because they were much younger.
Or what have you?
Oh, we would go, I mean, just for hours.
If you would have made this list 2 years ago, this would undoubtedly have been your
my number one.
Period.
For sure. Hands down.
But things changed, and it slipped.
Right.
That's probably the
it's because I want to play it with people who would enjoy it. Now, the reason this game, it is probably not supposed to be a 4+ hour game.
No.
But I played it with kids that were much littler, that couldn't even read.
And on top of that, every time they read a card,
we have to do the spell.
Quote the movie.
Yes. Or the book. And the book.
Talk about what was in the book that wasn't in the movie at this point.
It was a long...
And then they have to do the moves with their wand.
Yes.
And then, so that's why it's a 4-hour game. That's what I was chipping away at. It is not a 4-hour game.
I don't think it's a 4-hour game, but I actually haven't played it. Since we've been in this house, I don't think we've played it.
No, we have. I remember sitting here, and we've played it. Yeah, I'm not...
But it's all about the memory of my kids sitting on the floor with their wands and doing their spells.
It's not a bad game. It's not a bad game. It's just not a 4-hour game.
I didn't say I played it right.
All right, that was number 2.
My number 1, you're not even going to believe.
Here we go. I'm probably... Let's see. Go ahead.
It's a game I want to play with the family anytime, but we never have time. We don't have enough time to actually play games.
Well, yes we do, but not them.
It's a game that I played with Dante at Dice Tower West.
I know what it is.
And Dante loved it.
Yes,
it's my number 1.
Okay, tell him.
It's Illiterati.
All right, good. That makes absolute and complete total sense.
Are you kidding? Are you being sarcastic?
It makes absolute shit.
I want to sit and play that. I would like to sit and play that with my family right now.
Yeah. That's a... you are, what do you call a lover of books? What is that called?
A bibliophile?
A bibliophile. She is a bibliophile. And this game is all about
It's so
books.
Themed about the books and the books being burned and like the whole thing. Like, I love
battering the illiterati that are trying to get rid of all the books. So
I loved it. Okay.
Heroic.
The theme is great, but the memory is Dante and I at Dice Tower West, which is the first convention that we brought the kids to. They had never been to a gaming convention. Mm-hmm. I'd been to Gen Con with you before that. And Daphne sitting in the painting room, miniature painting room, for like the whole time.
Hours.
Literally, we didn't even see her.
Yeah. We knew
And
where
Dante,
she was
like,
all the time.
Dante, like, well, I want to play this game.
Mm-hmm.
Can I play this? Will somebody play this with me? Can they teach it to me?
Mm-hmm.
And seeing him kind of blossom in that way.
Sure.
And then us playing in Literati, and it was so much that we literally turned around to each other, and I was like, I want to buy this game. Yeah. I want to buy this game. How can I buy this game?
They were selling it for pre-order. So
they were. So we got on the pre-order, and we got it in soon after that. Mm-hmm. And it is my number one because it's so tied to that memory of, I really like. I want to play this.
It's based on books, but it's actually a word game.
Yeah, which is funny because I never would have pictured I would have liked a word game.
Yeah.
I'm not really.
Well, it's not a word game to where you have to think up these long.
Right.
High point words or anything.
And I think that's what you thought.
That's what I originally thought, because that's how most word games are. Right. But this one is not that way. You just have to make words. Doesn't matter what they are, except for you have to. You have your book, which are basically themes, and it tells you how many words you have to make.
Yeah.
And the theme of those words, or the context of those words. And that's what you have. Once you complete your book, well, then you've saved that book from the illiterati, and so forth and so on. So, but it doesn't. You don't have to make these long, drawn-out words. You don't have to be a wordsmith in order to do well at this game, which is what I like about it. And
I think
does have a really cool theme about it.
I think the first time you played it, you were super surprised.
I was,
because you were not expecting this.
No.
And I don't picture myself a word game girl. So this is why I was like, I didn't even think I'm going to like this game, but. It's just a game I really, really enjoy. And the reason I put it in my number one, not my number two, this was the whole debate, is because I could pull the kids out of their bedrooms right now.
Sure.
And I'd want to play this game.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's probably a good reason to make it your number one over your number two.
Right. Yeah, my number two is 100% memory.
Yeah.
In fact, I think if I played Hogwarts Battle right now with my kids, I don't think it would be as much fun as it was Back then, when they couldn't even read.
There's some nostalgia wrapped up.
Right, the memory. So, but I think we could play a Literati, and we would all love it.
Sure, I get it. All right, well, that is your 10 to 1. Your
so hopefully he didn't disown me.
Started off a little rocky. The first 4?
No,
the first.
I don't know. They got out of order.
The first 2 were lackluster, and then it picked up from there.
You didn't like it up until it was like number 7.
No, yeah.
You didn't like 10. You didn't like. Anyway.
It was fine. But we do want to say thank you to our sponsors, Game Toppers LLC, for sponsoring our channel in part, and sponsoring these top 50 games of all time from Jessie. So you can go over to Game Toppers LLC and check out their category, or catalog rather, of things that they offer you. They might even be late pledging at this point for their 4.0 Kickstarter. So go check that out. If you go over to GameToppersLLC.com, you'll probably find a link or something to that effect for their Kickstarter. But great product, great people. So go check that out. And with that, we are done with your top 50.
Okay, so did I totally surprise you on a bunch?
Not on a bunch.
There were some that you
All of them were very well explained. All of them were valid. I just think that they were games that I wouldn't have put on my list. But that's
valid.
the beauty
that's
of
why
having,
it's my list.
That's why it's your list and not mine. But that is it. Thanks for joining us, folks. We'll see you guys and gals on the flip side. Take care.
Bye.